The Fed characterizing economic growth as moderate, but saying that labor markets are tight, with all 12 Federal Reserve districts reporting widespread labor shortages. In 6 districts, the lack of workers is constraining sales or delaying projects, and those shortages are being felt in low-skilled jobs held at retailers and at restaurants. Still, the Fed noted that wage growth is modest, but it said that businesses are increasingly using benefits like flex time and vacation time in order to attract and retain workers. Now, weighing on businesses, though, is trade uncertainty. Several districts reporting that companies are being forced to scale back or postpone capital investment because of the trade turmoil. One Philadelphia business even calling it, quote, a cloud over every facet of their planning. And tariffs are also having an impact on prices. The Fed said that those are rising at a modest to moderate pace. All districts saw widespread increases in input prices, with tariffs being one of the main drivers there. And the Fed said that efforts to pass on those price hikes to consumers are increasing as well. Overall, the Fed found that consumer spending is growing at a modest pace. Manufacturing activity is moderate. Home construction, that's up modestly, but home sales are somewhat softer, both due to lower demand and lower inventory. Commercial real estate construction was mixed, and lending was up across the country. Guys, back to you.
All right, Ylan, thank you. Ylan Moy in D.C. Let's bring in CNBC senior economics reporter Steve Liesman. Tight labor force, rising prices, a lot of modest in Ylan's description.
Yeah, I got to reiterate my complaint from last time, and I think the time before that, that we're growing 4.3% in the second quarter and 3.2% is the rapid update for the third quarter, and the Fed still describes that as moderate or modest. I don't know what it would take. I'm going to keep hammering that till they change the language. I do want to say that I think Ylan's lead was straight up the right call here, because I think this is an escalation of their characterization of the problems with the labor force, this idea that it's widespread, that all the districts are reporting it. I didn't hear her say that it's limited to skilled workers, because this was the mantra in the past that it was something that was limited to skilled workers.
No,
I'm also
she said specifically unskilled.
Unskilled. Okay, I missed that while I was reading some other headlines. So that's important. That not only is it skilled, but it's also unskilled, and yet, I'm going to keep saying that we're not seeing the wages go up. We did have that 2.9% wage number in the last one, but it's still on a real or adjusted basis about zero or just a little bit over.
You're taking issue with moderate or modest. What word would you use then?
I think this is, right now, it's robust. Okay. I think, or strong even.
If there was a beige book that came
strong
out with robust growth and price increases, we would have, I would think, a more negative reaction in the markets.
Okay, but let me spin that just a little bit backwards, Melissa, and talk about what Lael Brainerd said earlier. She said that she thinks that the Fed is going to have to go above neutral. And she said there are 2 particular tailwinds that are out there. The first is market valuations, and the second is the tailwinds from very strong fiscal policy. And that, she says, raises the calculation of what the short-term neutral rate is. And she said, hey, we may have to go above that. Also very hawkish in terms of our outlook for inflation. This is all the sort of thing that Ylan mentioned in here, all these notions of inflation. There's another headline here that input costs are rising faster than selling costs. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that's going to get the Fed maybe sitting up a little straighter on this. It makes me think more and more that second hike in December is more of a done deal. And then we're going to have to start to have that conversation. I guess we should start having it now or anon, as you might say, about when the first hike happens in 2019.